Hey, so we're halfway through this distance learning. We have about 4 more weeks left of school remaining, and our last week we're only going to be doing Monday, I believe. So let's go ahead and get started with week 3, lesson 2, solving one-step and two-step equations. Now, I heard some of you guys were confused a little bit by last week's lesson. I understand that was a little bit difficult, so I went ahead and slow down a little bit on these problems that we're going to be working on today, and I hope that you're able to be successful solving these. I'm not going to do all of them on this page. I'm going to do 4 from the top section and 2 to 3 from the bottom section. That way you guys have more opportunity to practice. Problems 1 through 9 are a little bit more simple than the bottom half of the page because of the fact that these are one-step equations, meaning there's only one operation that needs to happen in order to solve for the unknown variable. In the first one, we see negative 28 is equal to 7d. Basically, all that means is 7 times what is d? And then you have to think, well, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28. That might work. And yes, it turns out that 7 times negative 4 will give you negative 28. And that's my answer, d equals negative 4. But what I want for you guys to practice doing is using the one-step equation, meaning using the inverse that goes along with the operation that's given. So here we have negative 28 equals 7d. And notice that here the operation that is happening between 7 and d is 7 times c. This is the same as saying 7 times d, whatever number that is. So to solve it, you would do division. So we're going to divide both sides by 7. Always divide by the number next to the variable, because what happens is 7 over 7 is the same as 1d. And then over here I have negative 4. And 1 times d is d, therefore d is negative 4. You can always go back and check your work by using substitution. So negative 28 equals 7d is my original equation. I'm going to replace my letter d with negative 4. You do not have to do this for every problem, but it is recommended. So here I show that negative 28 is in fact equal to negative 28. There you go. The other problem similar to this one on your practice that you can use is number 5. Those are the same steps as number 1. So when you get to it, and if you get stuck, just go back to that one and follow the steps that we did. Okay, let's get ready for the next problem. We're going to work on number 2. Here is the letter that I want by itself, plus b. Remember to take the sign with it. So that means I have to get rid of this minus 7 or this negative 7. So in order to do that, I need to do the opposite to make it a 0 pair. So if it helps, draw a line down the middle, all your equal signs. Let's do that now, just so that you're a little bit more organized with your work. If you don't like to draw the line down the middle, that's fine. So plus 7, whatever I do to this side, I have to do to the other side. So now I have a 0 pair and plus b by itself. I don't have to write the plus. Now let's solve this operation right here. 7 positives and 11 negatives. Draw tiles if you feel comfortable doing it that way. If you could do mental math, that's fine too. So I know 7, 11 can't be taken away from 7. So 7, 8. That is 4, negative 4. And that is my answer for B. So what I'm going to do now is check my answer. Write the original number, or problem, sorry. And I will be replacing this B with a negative 4. I didn't plan to have the same answer for both problems. That was a coincidence. So negative 11, let me erase some of this, it's in the way. Is equal to negative 11. This is true, therefore negative 4b is my final answer. The problem that you guys have to do on your own that is similar to number 2 is number 6. The next one that I will be doing with you is number 3. Number 3 is 5 equals x over 5. So you have to think, what number divided by 5 gives you 5? Now, using an educated guess, some of you guys may say 25. And yes, that's actually true. 25 over 5 does in fact give you 5. But I want you guys to show your work using the strategies that we talked about in the last video, where you have to use inverse operation. So use the opposite. Here is where my x is at, and this is a fraction, which we know is division. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I would have to multiply by the number next to the x. In this case, it's 5. So we're going to multiply this side by 5, which is 5 over 1 since it's a fraction. And over here, times 5. This becomes 5x over 5, which is 1. And that's just x. You'll see that you could just cross cancel and then keep the x. So on this side now I have 25 is equal to x. That's it. Now I'm going to check my answer. 5 equals x over 5. I'm going to replace x with 25 over 5. 5 is equal to 25 over 5 is 5. Boom. There's your answer. X is equal to 25, or 25 is equal to x. Same thing. And now that I think of it, I think I don't have to do any more with you. You have one example for each. I will just color code and circle by circling the ones that are similar. Number 4 is similar to number 3. There you go. The ones that are solved in a similar form have been color coded. Hopefully that helps you get through these problems. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to finish the bottom portion. If it does, please contact me and let me know. You're probably making a small error that I can help you discover, and then it'll make your world so much easier when it comes to solving these types of problems. We're going to go ahead and move on and look at the bottom half, two-step equations. Don't get scared of these. These are the same as what we did above, but we're going to be doing two parts, like when it comes to the inverse operation. Remember, let's do a love note. Remember, we do love notes because we love ourselves and we want to make sure we don't forget these things, so we write them down. The first thing we do when solving two-step equations or bigger equations is you're going to look for any addition or subtraction that you can solve. This is first. Second, you look for any multiplications or division. And then you do those second. All right, here we go. Number 10. So again, I'm going to draw the line down the middle and then look for my addition or subtraction. Right away, I know that this here is a multiplication. So I'm going to save that for last. It has a 17 times W. And actually, I need to redo my circle because you're supposed to include the sign that's in front. Sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on this 28. What is the opposite of positive 28? Negative 28. So we got to undo this. We're going to do it to both sides. And I know that I gave you guys some story to help you guys remember, but I can't remember the story right now. And if you're in a class that has myself and Miss Barker uses the example of crossing over the river. Okay, so far I have negative 17w equals negative 2. Now, the ultimate goal, remember, is to get the w by itself. So the opposite of 17 times w would be dividing. And you divide by the number next to the variable. So that would be divided by negative 17. And we do it to both sides. Now, to show division, to make your life a lot easier, what I recommend you do is you change that into something that looks like this. Say divided by negative 17 divided by negative 17. This becomes 1, right? 17 divided by 17 is 1. And this becomes just 2 over 17. And it's positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And like the other problems, you can go back to this and plug it in for W to make sure that your answer is correct. You don't have to do this for your classwork, but I'm going to do it just to show you how it would be done or how it would look. So I have 28 minus 17 W equals 26. We're going to be replacing the W, that's a weird highlighter, with 2 over 17. Oops. So 28 minus 17 times 2 over 17 equals 26. So now I'm going to rewrite this as a fraction so that I can do the multiplication. These will cross cancel. So I'm left with 28 minus 2 equals 26. And 26 is equal to 26. So it is true, it is correct. My answer is x equals 2 over 17. Remember, you do not have to do this bottom section. Now I'm going to do problem 11. Please pause and rewind the video as many times as necessary so that you get all the notes. The cool thing about doing this distance learning in these videos is that you have the opportunity to go at your own pace. You can slow down. You can go back to the videos if you forget something. But don't forget that you can always ask me for a specific question and I can go through it with you, either through an email or through a video conference. Okay, so here is number 11. I'm going to circle 1/8 because I know that that's what I have to keep by itself. This is the last thing that's moving because it has a variable. So let's get rid of this plus 9. I'm going to draw my line. So plus 9 is going to be, we're going to do the opposite. So we're taking away 9 from here, so we have to take away 9 from here. We have to be fair. This is removing balance sets. So now I'm going to be left with 1 over 8z equal to 25. That's it. I can't do anything. I have 1/8 times z. So to get rid of the 1/8, I have to do the opposite. 1/8 is considered a division problem. The opposite of division is what? Multiplication. So we're going to multiply. You always multiply, if it's a fraction, by the denominator because that's what you want to get rid of. So my denominator is 8. I'm going to multiply this side by 8 over 1. It's a fraction, so I'm going to make it a fraction, and then over here you have it by 8. So 8 over 8 z is 1 z, so it's just z by itself, and then 25 times 8. Well, some of you can do that in your head. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20, so that's 200. That's it. Again, you can go ahead and plug in 200 for z to check your work and see if that gives you your answer. It will. And I think you guys should be okay with solving the rest of these problems. If you have any issues, please let me know. I am going to put the answers to the bottom section on here so that you can check your work, but the only way you can get credit is for showing all of your steps. So please, please, please show all of your work. You do not have to check your answer. Okay, make sure you finish the problems up top that we didn't do together, and then I gave you the answers to the answers on the bottom section. Just make sure you show all of your work and that it matches. Make good choices and be good people. Have a good week.